The dining room smells like warm rice and sweet tea, and the overhead light is too bright, too honest. My mother's anniversary candles tremble in their glass holders like they're nervous for me. Then Armand's hand slides a thick folder across the table. It scrapes softly against the wood, a sound that shouldn't matter. It does. My sister's fork pauses halfway to her mouth. My uncle leans in, voice thin. Did he? Really? Do that. Armand doesn't blink. Sign tonight, don't make this harder. My fingers go numb. Cold climbs my wrists. I hear my own voice like it's coming from someone else. Okay. His mouth tugs up. Small. Satisfied. My phone buzzes against my thigh. One message. One line. Proof he's been building this for months, and I'm not the only name on his list. The message burns a hole through my skin. My thumb hovers, shaking, and the screen glare makes my eyes water like I'm about to cry, like I'm weak. I refuse. I swallow hard until my throat aches, until the taste of metal creeps up the back of my tongue. Everyone is still staring at the folder, at my signature like it's a stain spreading across the tablecloth. Armand sits there neat and polished, like he just placed an order and expects it delivered. His knee bumps mine under the table, an intimate little warning, a reminder of all the quiet ways he's trained me, bills he handled, passwords he organised, accounts he streamlined, every small betrayal packaged as care, every time I asked a question and he smiled, like I was cute for trying. I feel the heat in my face, my ears ringing, my heart is banging so hard, my ribs feel too tight for it, but I keep my shoulders down, I keep my breath even, because I know this type of moment. He didn't pick tonight by accident. My mother's photo sits on the shelf behind us, framed in gold. The candlelight flickers across her smile, and something inside me steadies, like she's pressing a palm to my back. Why would he do it in front of my family unless he thought he owned the ending? I glance at my sister. Her eyes are glossy, furious. My uncle's mouth is slightly open, like he can't decide whether to protect me or protect the peace. I can feel my child's small weight against my hip, warm and trusting, and it makes my stomach twist with a new kind of fear, sharp, clean, unstoppable. I lift my gaze to Armand and let my voice stay soft. I stayed calm. I want you to remember that sentence. If you've ever been cornered in public, say it with me. Comment it. I stayed calm. And if you've ever watched the truth, do the damage, not your hands, not your fists. Subscribe. Stay close. Because 2 days after I sign, Armand shows up at my door with his face cracked open, crying like he's lost something he can't replace. He's begging. Not because he loves me, because something I filed first just started a countdown he can't stop. Armand didn't start out cruel. That's the part that makes my stomach twist, even now, even after the folder, after the smirk, after that message glowing on my phone like a warning flare. He didn't start out cruel, he started out attentive, the kind of man who remembered how I take my tea and pretended it meant he understood my soul. My hands are still cold from the dinner table when we finally leave, cold in a way that doesn't match the warm night air. My fingers feel like they belong to someone else, stiff and numb, like the blood is refusing to return until it knows I'm safe. I buckle my toddler into the car seat with motions I've done 1,000 times. Click, tug, check. My nails scrape the plastic latch and the sound needles through me. My child babbles, tiny voice bright, unaware that my world just shifted on its axis. I kiss her forehead anyway. Her skin smells like shampoo and biscuits. Normal, blessedly normal. Armand stands behind me, close enough that his breath grazes the side of my neck. He doesn't touch me. He doesn't need to. His presence is its own hand on my spine. You were calm, he says like he's complimenting a trained dog. I shut the car door with more force than I meant to. The thud vibrates up my arm. I didn't want a scene. His laugh is quiet, controlled. You never do, that's true. And he knows it. He knows my family, the way they hold their tongues until their jaws ache, the way my uncle will choose peace over truth until peace becomes a lie too heavy to carry. He knows the rules in my blood. Don't embarrass the elders. Don't ruin the dinner. Don't make a spectacle. He used my upbringing like a lockpick. We drive home in silence. The city lights smear across the window like wet paint. Every red brake light ahead looks like a warning. The inside of the car smells faintly like his cologne, too sharp, too expensive, the kind he only wears when he wants to be seen. I stare at his hands on the steering wheel, clean nails, confident grip. A man who looks like he has nothing to hide, but I've been living with his hiding for years. It started with little things, the kind of things you accept because you're tired and you love someone and you want to believe love doesn't come with a cost. I'll handle the electricity bill, he said once, early in our marriage when I was pregnant and swollen and nauseous and crying over nothing. He kissed my forehead, took my phone from my hand, told me to rest. I rested. A month later, the lights flickered one evening while I was heating milk. I remember the exact moment, the smell of burnt sugar from a pot I forgot on the stove, my belly tight with the baby turning, the ceiling fan slowing like it was losing hope. Then dark, silence. My heart thumped so hard I thought I'd throw up. Armin came home late, breezing in like a hero. Don't worry, babe, he said, dialing someone, smooth as oil. I'll fix it. I felt grateful. I didn't feel suspicious. The pattern repeated, small fixes, small rescues. He collected my helplessness like coins. Then came the passwords. He said it like it was romantic. Let me make it easier for you. One password for everything. I'll set it up. I let him. He said it like it was responsible. I'll keep the documents. If anything happens, I know where everything is. I let him. He said it like it was love. You're always stressed. Let me take this off your plate. And I let him, because I was always stressed, working, mothering, running on fumes, counting grocery prices with a toddler on my hip, the weight of her settling into my bones until my back ached all day, coming home to a sink that never stayed empty, falling asleep with my phone in my hand, waking up with dried tears on my cheek, and no memory of what I cried about. It wasn't one big betrayal. It was a slow drain, a leak behind the walls, a dampness you ignore until the whole structure starts to rot. I felt broke all the time. I would open my banking app and stare at numbers that didn't make sense. My salary would come in and disappear like water in sand. I'd ask him, careful, gentle, like I was asking permission to breathe, where did it go? And he'd sigh, always the sigh, like my question was childish. Rent, bills, baby stuff. You know how expensive life is? He'd tilt his head, soft smile. Don't worry, I'm working on something, a better opportunity. Always that. The better opportunity, the shortcut, the quick win, the image. When I'd push harder, his voice would change, barely, not loud, just sharp enough to cut. Do you not trust me? And my throat would tighten because the truth was, I wanted to. I wanted to trust him so badly, it hurt. Trust was easier than reality. Trust meant I didn't have to face the fact that the man sleeping beside me might be slowly dismantling me. My family dinners were the only place I still felt solid. Every month, my aunt would brew cardamom tea so strong it perfumed the whole apartment. The scent would cling to my clothes on the way home, sweet and spicy like a reminder that I belonged somewhere outside of Armin. We'd sit close, shoulder to shoulder, plates crowded with rice and lentils and fried things that crackled when you bit into them. My uncle would clear his throat before prayer, voice deep and steady. My sister would whisper jokes into my ear, making me choke on laughter. Those nights were warm, anchoring. My mother's anniversary dinner was sacred. Every year we lit candles by her photo. We said her name out loud so it didn't fade. We told stories that made my chest ache in that sweet, clean way grief sometimes does, like love pressing against a bruise. This year, Armin insisted we go early. That should have been the first slap of warning. He hates being early. He hates waiting. He hates rooms where he isn't the centre. But that evening, he was dressed like he was going to be photographed. Hair perfect, watch gleaming, shirt ironed so crisp it looked sharp enough to slice skin. He drove like he had somewhere important to be. He kept checking his phone at red lights, screen flashing and dimming like a pulse. When we walked in, my aunt's apartment smelled like cardamom and onions and something sweet baking. It hit me like a memory. My eyes stung. Aunt Farah pulled me into a hug that was too tight, like she could feel something wrong in my body before my mouth said it. Her bangles clinked against my arm. "You're thin," she murmured. "Are you eating?" I laughed because it was safer than answering honestly. "I'm fine." Her eyes slid past me to Armin. She didn't smile with her whole face, just her mouth. That's how Aunt Farah smiles when she doesn't believe you. My sister squealed over my toddler, lifting her up, kissing her cheeks. My child shrieked with laughter, tiny hands grabbing at earrings. The sound was bright. It hurt me, how bright it was, because for a second I wanted to pretend nothing could touch us in that room. Armin moved through the space like he owned it. Handshakes, compliments, the perfect son-in-law. He kissed Aunt Farah's hand. He told my uncle he looked younger. He carried plates like a helpful man, and I watched him perform, feeling something inside me go hollow. Dinner began. Plates passed. Tea poured. The candle flames by my mother's photo flickered with every breeze from the fan. My uncle started his speech, voice thick with emotion. He spoke about my mother's laugh, the way she could calm a room, the way she made everyone feel seen. My throat tightened. I blinked hard. My hands were wrapped around my tea glass, warmth seeping into my palms. I felt almost safe. Then Armin waited until everyone was seated, until all eyes were on the table, on family, on ritual. He waited until the room was packed with witnesses and love and the weight of tradition, and then he slid the folder. The scrape of paper on wood cut through the murmurs like a knife. I remember the exact angle of it, how it stopped in front of me, perfectly aligned like he'd practiced, the label on the tab, my name. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like my organs shifted. My sister froze mid-bite, fork hovering, mouth slightly open. My uncle whispered, "Did he really do that?" Armin's voice was calm as glass. "Sign tonight, don't make this harder." My mother's candle flame trembled. The whole room seemed to inhale and hold its breath. I looked at the top page. My name, his name, lines, boxes, a place for my signature like a coffin with my measurements already taken. He leaned back slightly, giving me space like a generous man. "You wanted independence," he said loud enough for everyone to hear. "Here it is." Heat rushed to my face. My ears rang. My throat tightened so hard I thought I might gag. Grief and rage climbed up my chest like hands, desperate to claw their way out. I could have screamed. I could have thrown the folder at him. I could have stood up and made the room explode. But my toddler was on my hip, heavy and warm, her cheek pressed against my shoulder. She smelled like powder and dinner rolls, her small fingers fisted in my scarf, trusting me to keep the world steady. So I swallowed it. I swallowed my pride, my rage, my tears. I swallowed until my throat burned. I lifted the pen. My hand shook once, just once. I pressed the nib to paper. I signed. The room made a sound. Not a word, not a scream, just a collective wounded exhale. Armin's mouth tugged into that small, satisfied curve. He thought it meant I had surrendered. He thought my calm was agreement. He didn't understand the difference between peace and patience. We got home, and I put my child to bed with my hands still trembling. I smoothed her hair until my fingers stopped shaking. Her breathing evened out, soft and steady, and I stared at her in the dim light, feeling something hot and fierce settle into my chest. I will not let him teach her this is love. Armin moved around the apartment, too energised for a man who just ended a marriage. He made a call in the kitchen, voice low. He laughed once, a quiet laugh that made my skin crawl. When he finally came into our bedroom, he didn't touch me. He didn't ask if I was okay. He set his bag down like a man who'd completed a task. "I'll sleep on the couch," he said, as if he deserved praise for mercy. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling fan, listening to it click with every rotation. Click, click, click. My heart beat in my throat. I waited until the apartment settled into midnight quiet, until the traffic outside softened, until Armin's breathing from the living room turned slow. Then I got up. My feet were cold on the tile. My body felt too light, like my soul had stepped half a pace behind me. I moved to his bag in the hallway, the one he always kept close, the one he never let me rummage through. The zipper sounded loud in the silence. I winced, holding my breath. Inside, papers, receipts, a second phone charger, a small perfume sample I didn't recognise. My stomach tightened. Then I found it. An envelope, thick, crisp, official, not addressed to me, a name I didn't know printed cleanly on the front, followed by an address that wasn't ours. My pulse hammered so hard, my vision blurred at the edges. I traced the name with my fingertip, the paper cold and unforgiving. My mouth went dry, because suddenly the folder on my family's table wasn't just divorce papers, it was a step in something larger, and I was standing at the edge of it, barefoot in the dark, holding proof that I wasn't just being left, I was being used. I don't sleep. I lie on my side with one ear tuned to the living room, listening for the smallest shift in the couch springs, the soft tap of Armin's phone screen, the faint swallow of his breathing when he thinks. The apartment feels too small for the air in it. My skin is tight, like it doesn't fit right. The envelope sits on my nightstand. Not mine, not meant for me. I keep staring at the name like it might blink first. At 3:12 a.m., my toddler coughs in her sleep, and I jerk upright so fast my spine cracks. My heart slams against my ribs like it's trying to get out. I stand over her crib, hand hovering above her little back until her breathing steadies again, warm, safe, unaware. My mouth tastes like pennies. I go to the kitchen and pour water I don't drink. The glass sweats in my hand. The fridge hums. The walls creak. Everything ordinary keeps moving, like my humiliation didn't happen in a room full of my blood. I pick up my phone. The message is still there, still bright, still poisonous. I open it again, as if pain needs repetition to become real. Then I do what I should have done months ago. I open my email. My inbox loads and my stomach drops before my eyes even focus. Subject lines stack like bricks. Welcome to your new account. Your application has been received. Payment due. Action required. My throat squeezes. I scroll. One alert says I've opened a business credit line. Another says a verification code was sent to a number I don't recognise. Another says my address was updated. The glow of the screen turns my hands blue-white in the dark. My fingers tremble so hard I mistype my password twice. When I finally get in, I feel my pulse in my gums. My name is everywhere. My name on things I never asked for. My name stamped on obligations I didn't agree to. My name used like a mask. A thin sound comes out of me, half breath, half whimper, before I can stop it. I slap my palm over my mouth and look down the hallway toward my child's room. My eyes sting. The back of my throat burns. I click one email, then another, then another. The numbers don't feel like numbers. They feel like hands around my ankles dragging. Each line item is a cold finger pressing into my chest. I want to wake Armin. I want to shake him until his perfect hair falls apart and his calm face cracks open and he has to look at what he did. But I don't, because I know him. He'll wrap it in soft words. He'll call it temporary. He'll say, I did it for us. He'll say, you're overreacting. And if I get loud, he'll get quiet, dangerously quiet, and he'll remind me how alone I am without him, how hard it will be, how my family will judge, how I'll never manage. He won't hit me. He doesn't need to. He hits everything else. My confidence, my choices, the ground under my feet. I take the envelope from the nightstand and carry it to the bathroom like it's evidence from a crime scene. The tile is cold under my bare feet. I sit on the closed toilet lid, knees pulled up, and lock the door. The fan hums on, a steady mechanical sound like permission to breathe. I press the envelope against my thigh. The paper edge bites my skin. He didn't just leave me. He emptied the floor beneath me. A sob tries to climb out of my chest, and I clamp down on it so hard my jaw aches. I squeeze my eyes shut until stars pop behind my lids. My shoulders shake anyway. Silent. I wipe my face with the back of my hand. Salty. Hot. I hate the wetness. I hate that my body is honest. Even when my mouth refuses to be, I scroll again. I take screenshots. My camera roll fills with proof I don't want to have. There's a particular email, small, boring, dangerous, that makes my blood turn to ice. Thank you for your application. Your personal guarantee has been recorded. Personal guarantee. I stare at that phrase until the letters blur. I think about the way he slid those divorce papers toward me like a magician's trick. Everyone watching the folder while the real sleight of hand happened somewhere else. I think about his smirk, how light it looked, like he'd just played a joke. This wasn't a joke. This was a plan. My phone vibrates. A text from Armin. Don't tell your family. We can do this peacefully. Peacefully. The word makes me almost laugh. It's so insulting it turns my stomach. Peacefully means quietly, alone, without witnesses, without anyone who loves me enough to get angry. Another text comes through before I can answer. Your relatives are dramatic. They'll make it ugly. Don't be like them. My fingers curl around the phone so hard my knuckles ache. I can feel my pulse in my fingertips. Heat floods my face again, embarrassment mixing with rage until it's hard to tell which is which. I imagine him sending those messages from the couch. Calm, in control, like he's arranging furniture, like he's arranging me. I don't reply. I set the phone down on the sink, screen facing down like I can suffocate it. I stand and stare at myself in the mirror. My eyes look bigger in the bathroom light, too bright, too awake. The skin under them is bruised with exhaustion. I look like someone who's been standing in the rain for hours and doesn't realise they're soaked. I lean closer and whisper, so quiet, only my own reflection can hear. What did you do? And in my chest, something answers. Not soft, not forgiving, something sharp. Later, morning, grey light bleeding into the room. Armin's voice drifts from the living room. I'm in the kitchen making my child's breakfast with hands that don't feel attached to me. Oats, banana, the familiar routine like a rope I'm holding onto so I don't float away. He's on a call. I freeze with the spoon mid-stir. His tone is smooth, almost cheerful, like he's pitching an idea. I can hear him smile in his voice, that practiced warmth he uses on strangers. No, it's handled, he says. She signed. My stomach flips. My grip tightens on the spoon until my fingers cramp. He laughs softly. Once she signs, it's clean. The rest is automatic. Automatic, the word lodges in me like a splinter under the nail. Small but unbearable. Automatic like a trap snapping shut. Automatic like a machine rolling forward no matter who's underneath it. My child squeals from her high chair, banging her hands. The sound is so innocent, it makes me dizzy. Armin continues, voice dropping. Yeah, no drama. Her family's emotional, but she's compliant. Compliant, I feel my throat close. The room tilts slightly. The fan above the stove spins and spins and spins like time doesn't care. I set the spoon down carefully, too carefully. My hands are shaking again and I need the counter to hold me up. When the call ends, he walks into the kitchen like nothing happened. He kisses my child's head. He kisses my cheek. His lips are warm. The warmth makes my skin crawl. Morning, he says casual. We should talk later. I keep my face blank. I keep my voice low. About what? His eyes flicker. Just a fraction. Calculation. About next steps. Keeping things smooth. Smooth, peaceful, automatic. All words that mean you don't get to ask questions. Oh, okay, I say again. He relaxes. And I hate that I can see it. Hate that my compliance is a lever he pulls and the world shifts for him. He leaves after breakfast, dressed like he's going somewhere important. He lingers in the doorway. And Nadia, he adds, like an afterthought. Don't do anything impulsive. Impulsive. He says it like I'm a child, holding scissors. The door clicks shut behind him. The quiet is enormous. My child hums to herself, smearing oats across her tray. I wipe her fingers, kiss them, breathe in her hair. I let my eyes close for 1 second. Then I open them and move. I take my phone. I take the folder of divorce papers. I take the envelope with the stranger's name. I take a notebook and start writing dates and times because my memory feels slippery and I can't afford slippery. I search for an attorney my aunt once mentioned, a woman who helped a cousin after her husband misplaced money. I find the number. My thumb hovers. My chest feels full of stones. I call. A receptionist answers. Her voice is professional, calm. It makes me want to cry again because calm feels like safety. Right now, I need an appointment, I say. My voice doesn't sound like mine. As soon as possible. A pause. What is the nature of the issue? I stare at the divorce papers like they might speak for me. My stomach churns. Divorce, I say, and financial things I didn't authorise. Another pause, softer this time. We can see you today at 4. 4. It feels like a cliff edge and a handrail at the same time. Yes, I whisper. Yes, please. I hang up and sit on the couch, where Armin slept like I'm committing a crime just by sitting in his space. The cushion holds the shape of his body. I feel sick. At 4, I walk into Miss Syra's office with my shoulders squared and my insides trembling. The hallway smells like paper and lemon cleaner. My palms sweat. The folder is damp where my fingers grip it too tightly. Miss Syra is not what I expected, not sharp in a cruel way, sharp like a needle, quiet, observant. Her eyes are steady, and when she gestures for me to sit, it feels like she's giving me permission to exist. I slide the documents across her desk. My hands shake. I hate that. I press them flat against my thighs to still them. She flips through pages without reacting. Her face stays composed. That terrifies me more than anger would. It means she's seen worse. I show her the emails, the alerts, the screenshots, the personal guarantee, a line that still makes my skin go cold. I push the envelope toward her. I found this in his bag, I say. It's not mine. She turns it over once, twice, reading the name. Her brow tightens just slightly. A crease forms between her eyebrows, like a door cracking open. Public signature, she murmurs, tapping the divorce papers with one finger. He served you in front of witnesses? My throat tightens. Yes. She nods slowly. That matters. I cling to that, the idea that it matters, that I'm not crazy, that my humiliation wasn't just humiliation, it was a tactic. Miss Saira leans back and looks at me properly now, not at the papers, at me. Listen carefully, she says. Do not rush. People who push for signatures in public are often hiding assumptions in the paperwork, things they don't want you to read when you're calm. My skin prickles. My heart thuds once, hard. She turns back to the papers, scanning lines, her finger tracing small text. The room is quiet except for the soft rustle of pages. My breath feels loud in my own ears. Then she stops, just stops. Her finger presses down on a paragraph near the bottom of a page. Her nail is neat, pale pink. Her hand is steady, mine are not. This, she says, voice still calm but heavier now, is not about divorce. My mouth goes dry. What is it? She lifts her eyes to mine. They're steady, too steady. It's about liability, she says, and it looks like he's trying to make you responsible for something that has nothing to do with you. My vision narrows. The edges of the room blur. My heartbeat becomes a roar, automatic, clean, peaceful. I feel the countdown start inside my ribs, ticking louder with every breath, and somewhere, deep in my gut, something cold and determined unfolds. Miss Saira's office is too quiet, not peaceful, quiet like a room where people decide fates and then go get coffee like nothing happened. My palms are damp. The chair squeaks when I shift, and I hate that sound because it makes me feel small, like I'm asking permission to exist in my own disaster. She slides a legal pad towards herself and starts writing. Neat lines, calm strokes, the pen never hesitates. Liability, she says again, as if my body didn't already understand it before my mind did. They're trying to attach just sort of failing obligation to you. If it sticks, you'll be the face of it. Face. The word hits like a slap. My mouth opens and nothing comes out at first. My tongue feels thick. My throat tightens until swallowing hurts. But I didn't... The sentence breaks apart in my mouth. I know, she says, and it's not comforting. It's infuriating because knowing doesn't erase anything. Knowing doesn't turn back time. A picture flashes behind my eyes. Armin in the dining room, candlelight dancing on his watch, that smug little curve on his mouth when the pen touched paper, like he could taste victory. He wanted me embarrassed so I'd move fast. He wanted witnesses so I'd feel trapped. My anger doesn't roar. It sharpens. It becomes a thin, clean blade. Miss Saira keeps talking, short, precise, like she's building a bridge plank by plank over a canyon. First, we freeze your credit immediately. Then we document every communication, every message, every push for urgency, every witness who saw the public pressure. Witnesses. The room spins back to my aunt's apartment. My uncle's voice strained, my sister's frozen fork, my mother's photo watching it all from her shelf. I swallow, the taste is still metal. What about my accounts? My voice comes out hoarse, like I've been screaming for hours, even though I haven't screamed once. We separate, Miss Saira says. You move your income to an account he can't touch, and we start a dispute package for anything opened in your name without consent. My heart thumps harder. A part of me wants to be sick. Another part wants to laugh, bitter, ugly, because I think of all those nights I asked him where the money went, and he smiled like I was silly. He wasn't confused. He was counting on me, not understanding. Miss Saira taps the divorce papers. Also, this signature. It may not mean what he thinks it means, but we treat it carefully. No new signatures, no quick, just sign here. Understood? I nod so fast, my neck aches. When I step outside, the sun feels wrong, too bright, too normal. The street is loud with horns and footsteps, and the world smells like exhaust and fried food and someone's perfume drifting past. People move around me like I'm invisible. I sit in my car and grip the steering wheel until my fingers cramp. My chest feels packed with wool. Breathing is work. My phone buzzes. My sister. I stare at her name and my throat closes. I answer anyway. Nadia? Her voice is tight, whispering like she's hiding in a closet. What is going on? The question lands heavy, not accusatory, wounded. I'm handling it, I say, and I hate how weak that sounds. No, she snaps, and the sharpness in her voice makes my eyes sting. I saw something online, your name on a business page, people commenting. My stomach drops. My hands go clammy. What business page? I manage. She exhales hard, a broken little breath. It's Armands' start-up thing. There's a post about funding and partnership, and your name is in the comments like you're some guarantee. Her voice cracks on guarantee like it tastes poisonous. I grip the wheel harder. My nails bite into the leather. My name isn't just on paperwork, it's on a story, a public story, a performance, a lie he's been telling with my face. Send me a screenshot, I whisper. She does, immediately. My phone pings, and when I open it, my vision blurs for a second. There it is, my name, typed like a stamp, a stranger's comment beneath it. Congrats to the couple, solid backing, couple, backing. My stomach turns. I taste bile. I press my knuckles to my lips, breathing through my nose like I'm trying not to throw up in the driver's seat. He wasn't just divorcing me, he was rearranging me into a shield. My phone buzzes again. This time, my uncle. He never calls during work hours. My chest tightens before I even pick up. Beta, he says, voice low, embarrassed like he's ashamed to be the part of this conversation. A bank called me. Everything in me goes cold. A bank? I repeat. My tongue feels numb. They asked if I could confirm your address, he says. They said your account, something about verification. I told them I didn't know. Nadia, what is happening? The shame in his voice hits me hard. My uncle is a proud man. He hates being pulled into mess. He hates being asked questions that make him feel foolish. And Arman used that too. He used our family's need for dignity as a blindfold. My eyes burn. Uncle, I'm sorry. No, he says quickly, almost pleading. Don't apologise to me. Tell me if you're safe. Safe. The word makes my chest ache. I look down at my lap where my child's sock is still stuck from earlier, tiny and pink, like a scrap of innocence I forgot to throw in the laundry. My throat tightens so hard it hurts. I'm safe, I lie, because I don't know what safe means right now, but I know I can't scare him. He exhales. Your aunt is very angry. A strange relief moves through me. Hot, sudden, good. Let her be angry, because my anger is too controlled, it's too quiet, it's turning inward like poison. Aunt Farah meets me that evening at her apartment, and the moment I step inside, she takes one look at my face and her jaw sets. The air smells like cardamom tea again, but it doesn't comfort me this time. It makes me furious because that smell belonged to family, and he dragged his ugliness into it. She shuts the door behind me with a hard click. Sit, she says, not gently. I sit. My legs feel shaky, like I've run miles. She doesn't ask if I'm okay. Aunt Farah doesn't waste words on questions with obvious answers. She pushes a small notebook and pen toward me like she's arming me. Tell me everything, she says, from the moment he woke up that morning. My throat tightens. Auntie, no, she cuts in, eyes sharp. He made it public. That means we make it precise. Precise. I swallow. I start talking, and once the words begin, they spill out like water from a crack. The folder, the smirk, the texts, the emails, the envelope. My voice trembles at first, then steadies. The more I say out loud, the less fog there is, the less room he has to twist it later. Aunt Farah writes dates and times like she's keeping score. She asks questions that make my stomach drop. Did he ever have access to your NID documents, your banking app, your email password? Yes, yes, yes. Each yes tastes like humiliation. She nods, face hard. Okay, we collect receipts, messages, bank notices, your sister's screenshot, and we get witnesses from the dinner. Witnesses, I whisper, and my skin prickles. My sister joins us, eyes swollen from crying. She sits close to me on the couch and grips my hand. Her palm is hot. Mine is cold. Everyone saw him, she says, voice shaking with rage. Everyone. Aunt Farah leans forward. Then everyone can say it. Later. My chest tightens. Later feels like a storm cloud gathering over the roof. I can almost hear the thunder. That night, after my child falls asleep, I sit on Aunt Farah's balcony with my phone and the envelope. The city air is damp. Somewhere below, a rickshaw bell jingles. A dog barks. Life keeps living. I open the envelope carefully this time, hands steadier than they were before. Inside is a letterhead, a business logo, a proposal, words like partnership, liability, guarantee, collateral, and a name, not mine. A man's name I don't know. Someone Armin has been courting, someone he's been feeding our stability to, like bait. There are phrases that mention my salary as consistent household income, my family as strong community backing, our low-risk profile. Low risk. I nearly choke on a laugh. My life has felt like a high-wire act for years. I read it again, slower, feeling the pieces click into place with sickening clarity. He needed me on the divorce papers for 2 reasons. To make it look like a clean split so the new partner wouldn't worry about spousal complications, and to slide the liability onto my shoulders under the cover of separation. He didn't want a wife. He wanted a signature. My phone buzzes. Armin. My stomach twists immediately like my body recognises the predator before my mind does. He calls. I don't answer. He calls again. I don't answer. Then a text comes through. I'm coming by to see our child. My skin goes cold. My fingers tremble. I type. She's asleep. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. Did you do something with the bank? My breath catches. Not hello. Not how is she. Not are you okay. Bank. I stare at the message until my eyes hurt. He's afraid of something that I haven't even touched yet. That realisation spreads through me like heat. My chest lifts, just slightly, like I can breathe a fraction more. He doesn't have the full map. He's guessing, scrambling. I type back slowly. What bank? 3 dots again. He doesn't answer. Instead, don't make this ugly, Nadia, ugly. Another word for don't tell anyone the truth. My hands shake, but my mind is suddenly very clear, so clear it's almost calm. I put my phone down and walk to the bathroom. I lock the door. The fan hums, same mechanical comfort as before. I look at myself in the mirror. My eyes are red-rimmed, but there's something new behind them, something steady. I open my email again. I check the dispute forms Miss Saira sent. I see the confirmation number for the credit freeze request. I see the list of documents to attach. I feel the world tilt, not toward collapse, but toward consequence. Then a notification pops up on my screen. Official inquiry opened. The words sit there, plain and brutal, like a stamp. My breath stops. My fingertips go numb again, but this time it isn't panic. It's shock, laced with relief, because it means the machine has started moving in a direction he can't easily control. My name is no longer the easy shield he planned. I press my hand flat against the counter, grounding myself in the cool stone. I close my eyes. Somewhere out there, Armin is realising the floor is shifting, and for the first time in years, I'm not the one slipping. My apartment smells like detergent and yesterday's fear. The air is heavy, the kind that sticks to the back of my tongue. I move quietly because my child is finally asleep, sprawled like a starfish in her little bed, mouth open, cheeks warm. I watch her for a long moment, the rise and fall of her chest anchoring me. Each breath she takes feels like a command. Protect her. Clear my name. Don't let him write my story for me. I step into the kitchen and spread everything out on the table, like I'm laying out a body for identification. Phone, notebook, divorce papers, envelope, printouts from my email, a screenshot my sister sent, a list Miss Syra texted me. Short, clean bullets that feel like stepping stones across deep water. My hands are steadier than they should be, or maybe the shaking is just inside now, vibrating under my skin where no one can see. I start building a timeline, not a messy one, not an emotional one, a precise one. Dinner, time, location, witnesses. The moment the folder scraped the wood. The exact sentence signed tonight. The way he said it loud enough for my uncle to hear, the way everyone looked at me like the room suddenly belonged to him. I write down the messages, date stamped, word for word. Don't tell your family. We can do this peacefully like a muzzle. I print the emails with the welcome subject lines and the accounts I didn't open. I highlight the phrases that make my stomach go cold. Personal guarantee, verification, application, received. Each highlight stroke feels like a small act of violence in reverse, me taking back what he tried to blur. I open my banking app and my finger hovers over the screen like it's hot. Then I do it. I change passwords, I change recovery emails, I change every answer to every security question. I feel like I'm ripping my own skin off and replacing it with Afrarama. I open a new account, one he doesn't know about, and reroute my salary. When the confirmation screen pops up, I exhale so hard my chest aches. It's just money, numbers, but it's also oxygen. Without it, he can keep me dizzy forever. My phone buzzes, a text from Armin, a photo, flowers on our doorstep, a ridiculous bouquet, too big, too staged, like he bought them for a picture, not for me, for proof. Message, I'm sorry, let's not ruin each other, think of our child. I stare at the flowers until my eyes sting. He's never apologised without a hook attached. My stomach tightens, and for half a second, something in me wants to fold, wants to believe in soft petals and pretty gestures, wants to crawl into the familiar cage because at least it's familiar. Then my child coughs in her sleep down the hall, a tiny sound, and my heart flips. I think of her watching me someday, learning what love looks like by watching what I tolerate. The softness drains out of me. I type back, put everything in writing through my lawyer. The 3 dots appear immediately. He's watching my screen like he's watching my throat. Then, Nadia, don't do this. I don't reply. I keep working. I gather statements. I request records. I pull old messages that felt harmless at the time. Him offering to handle it. Him asking for codes real quick. Him telling me not to stress my pretty head. The words look different now. The sweetness is gone. The control underneath shows like mould once you lift the paint. I message my sister. I need the names of everyone at the dinner. Who sat where, who heard what. She answers with a list and a voice note that starts with a sniff, then turns into anger. I hate him, she whispers. I hate what he did to you. I close my eyes and let the rage move through me like electricity, not to explode, to power something. Aunt Farah calls. Her voice is clipped, ready. I spoke to your uncle, she says. He will write a statement. He doesn't like it, but he will. My throat tightens. Thank you. Don't thank me, she snaps. Thank your mother for giving you a spine. I almost laugh. It comes out like a broken breath. Then she lowers her voice. Some people are already talking, Nadia. They're saying, you should keep it quiet. Quiet, the old family hymn. I feel heat bloom in my chest. For reputation? For reputation, she confirms, disgust thick in her mouth. They love reputation more than they love truth. I close my eyes and press my fingers to my eyelids until I see stars. I can't keep it quiet. No, she says softly, and that softness is rarer than gold. You can't. The next morning the school calls. I'm stirring tea I don't want, and the spoon clinks too loud against the cup. The sound makes my teeth ache. Mrs. Rahman, the administrator asks, we need an updated emergency contact form and signature for pickup authorisation. My pulse spikes like a siren. Is there a problem? I ask, voice tight. Just policy, she says gently. We noticed some fields missing. Also, Mr. Rahman called yesterday asking to change the pickup list. My stomach drops. Cold rushes through my limbs. He's reaching for my child with paperwork. I force my breath to slow. In through the nose, out through the mouth, like Miss Saira told me. Don't panic in front of people who want you panicked. I'll come in today, I say, and please, no changes without both parents present. Put that note in our file. There's a pause. Of course, I hang up and my hand shakes so hard I almost drop the cup. Tea sloshes over the rim, hot against my skin. I flinch, not from pain, from the feeling of being hunted. I text Miss Saira immediately. He tried to change school pickup authorisation. She replies, document, don't confront, keep calm, calm. My jaw aches from how hard I'm holding it. By afternoon, Armin shows up outside the school like he's starring in a commercial for fatherhood. Clean shirt, soft smile, a toy in his hand. He spots me and his face shifts. Warmth, then irritation, then calculation. Hey, he says, gentle, like we didn't bleed out at my mother's anniversary dinner. I just wanted to make sure she's okay. My throat tightens. I can smell his cologne. It turns my stomach now. She's okay, I say. She's going home with me. His smile stays in place, but his eyes sharpen. Nadia, I can feel parents walking past us, glancing, pretending not to. Public again, always public with him. He loves an audience because he trusts my shame. He lowers his voice. Did you do something with the bank? There it is again. Bank. I look at him, and for a moment I see the fear he's trying to hide. It flickers behind his eyes like a moth trapped in a jar. I let my face stay blank. Why would you ask that? His nostrils flare, then he smooths himself. Because I'm trying to keep things reasonable, peaceful, automatic. My child runs into my legs, hugging my knees, laughing. I bend, scoop her up, and the weight of her is real and grounding and furious-making. Armin's gaze lingers on her like she's leveraged with a heartbeat. You don't know who you're messing with, he murmurs, voice sweet enough to sound like a joke to anyone listening. My stomach twists. The threat slides under my skin, but I don't flinch. Not outwardly. Inside something hardens, like wet clay turning to stone. I'm messing with the truth, I say quietly. His eyes narrow. Then he smiles again, sharper this time. Fine, let's not ruin each other, Nadia. He says my name like it belongs to him. I walk away. That night, there's a knock on my door. It's late enough that the hallway light looks sickly through the peephole. My child is asleep. The air in my apartment feels thin. I don't open it. I ask through the door, who is it? A man's voice. Armin's cousin Kamal. Too friendly. Nadia Barbie, he calls softly. I just want to talk. Family talk. Family talk. The phrase makes my stomach curl. I keep my back against the door, phone in my hand, ready to call Aunt Farah. My heart is pounding so hard, it feels like it's bruising my ribs. What do you want? I ask. He chuckles. We heard things. Armin is stressed. He says you're making problems. Problems. My mouth goes dry. I'm not opening the door. A pause. Then his voice turns slick. Come on, Babby, we're family. Don't do anything that will embarrass everyone. Embarrass, there it is. The word they try to put over my mouth like tape. I press my forehead against the door, eyes closed, breathing through the fury. Leave. He sighs loudly, performing for the empty hallway. Okay, I'll go. But just think, yeah? Armin can be generous if you don't fight him. Generous. My hands tremble. The phone is slippery with sweat. I don't answer. I listen until his footsteps fade. When the silence returns, it's not relief. It's dread, dressed as quiet. I lock the chain. I check the windows. I sit on the couch and stare at the wall until my eyes blur. Then I open my email again and keep building the package, because this is my revenge. Not screaming, not smashing paper, dates, proof, consequences. The kind of revenge that doesn't leave bruises on skin, only on reputations and bank accounts and lies. I send Miss Syra the updated timeline. I attach the school note, the cousin's visit, the texts, the screenshots. A minute later she replies with one sentence that makes my lungs forget how to work. Tomorrow morning, he'll receive the notice. I stare at the message until my eyes burn. Tomorrow. My stomach flips. My hands go cold again, but this time it isn't helplessness. It's anticipation. I imagine Armin opening his phone, seeing something official, something he can't charm. I imagine his breath catching, his smile faltering, his confidence cracking like thin ice. Miss Syra's earlier words echo in my head, calm and brutal. He'll beg when he realises control is gone. Don't confuse begging with change. I whisper it to myself in the dark like a prayer I never learned in any holy book. Don't confuse begging with change. Tomorrow, the machine he called automatic starts moving, and for once, it's moving toward him. The next morning doesn't feel like morning. It feels like a held breath. Light leaks through my curtains in thin, tired strips. The ceiling fan ticks. My child's small feet slap the floor once, then twice, then she climbs into my lap with that blind trust that breaks and rebuilds me at the same time. Her hair smells like sleep, like milk, like a life that deserves better than the kind of love that comes with paperwork. My phone sits face up on the table like a loaded weapon. I keep checking it anyway, thumb hovering, heart doing that stupid fast flutter like it thinks fear is useful. A message appears from Miss Syra. Notice delivered. Delivered. A simple word that makes my stomach flip, not with joy, never joy, but with the strange, clean sensation of inevitability, like gravity finally remembered who it works for. I make breakfast. I pack my child's bag. I move through routine like it's a rope I'm clinging to over a drop. The whole time my skin prickles, waiting. Then the doorbell rings. Once a pause, then a frantic knock that rattles the frame like someone trying to break time. I freeze with a spoon in my hand. The metal clinks against the bowl. My child looks up at me, eyes round, curious. My throat tightens. I set the spoon down slowly, wipe my hands on my scarf. My palms are sweating. The knock comes again, harder. I don't open it yet. I look through the peephole. Armin, his hair is a mess, not the styled, perfect version he wears like armour. This is real disarray. His eyes are red, raw around the edges, like he's been crying or not sleeping or both. His lips look pale. His chest rises and falls too fast, like his body is sprinting while he's standing still. For a second, the sight doesn't make me feel victorious. It makes me feel, hollow, because I remember him laughing in my kitchen. I remember him kissing my cheek with warm lips after saying automatic on the phone. I remember the folder sliding across my family's table like a guillotine. And now he looks like someone who just realised the blade wasn't pointed at me. I open the door just enough to stand in the gap, body blocking my home without me thinking about it. Instinct. My child peeks from behind my leg. Armand's eyes flick to her and soften, too quickly, too perfectly, then flick back to me. The softness disappears. He swallows. His throat bobs like he's choking on something. Nadia, he says. And my name sounds different in his mouth now, smaller, uncertain. I don't invite him in. I don't ask how he is. I wait. His hands lift like he's surrendering. Please, he whispers. His voice shakes. It's thin. Please, fix this. My stomach twists. The please scrapes against the inside of my ribs. Fix what, I ask, and my voice is calm in a way that surprises me. His eyes dart left and right like he's afraid the hallway has ears. He leans in closer, lowering his voice like the truth is something shameful. Just call them, he begs. Call them and tell them it was a mistake. Tell them you're not... He chokes on the words. Tell them it's resolved. I stare at him. Call them, tell them it was a mistake, like my life is an error message he can close with one click. I feel something inside me settle. Not anger, clarity. The automatic thing he bragged about wasn't his win. It was the trigger that exposed him. He thought the machine was built for him. He didn't realise he'd stepped into it. Behind him, the hallway feels suddenly crowded, even though it's empty. I can hear my own heartbeat, slow, heavy, controlled. Armand's eyes glisten. His face twitches like he's fighting for the old version of himself to come back, the confident one, the smug one, the one who made me sign in front of my mother's photo. I'm asking you nicely, he says, voice breaking on nicely. I blink once. My eyes are dry. My body feels oddly light. You asked me publicly, I say. You asked me at a family table like I was a document, not a person. His jaw clenches. I didn't... Yes, you did, I cut in, quiet. My words feel like stones dropping into a deep well. You wanted fast, you wanted public, now you get honest. His face shifts. Panic, then anger, then panic again. He reaches a hand toward the door frame like he's going to touch my space. I step back just enough to make it clear, no. He pulls his hand away like he burned himself. Please, he whispers again, smaller. You don't understand. They're going to... He swallows hard. His eyes flick to my child again, and his voice turns sweet with desperation. Think of her. You'll hurt her too. My stomach turns to acid. The way he uses my child's name without saying her name, like she's a card he can play. I feel heat rise to my face, my ears ringing, my hands clench into fists at my sides, so tight my nails dig into my palms. Pain grounds me. I am thinking of her, I say. My voice is steadier than the bones in my body feel. That's why I'm not calling anyone for you. Armand's breathing turns ragged. His eyes flash. Nadia, stop! Stop acting like I'm a criminal! I stare at him and something in me almost laughs. Not because it's funny, but because it's obscene. How he still wants to be the victim even while standing in the doorway of my life with his lies dripping off him. My phone buzzes on the table behind me. A text from Aunt Farah. We're coming. My throat tightens again, but this time it's relief, real relief, the kind that makes your eyes sting even when you refuse to cry. Armand hears the buzz and his eyes narrow, suspicious. Who's that? I don't answer. He takes a step forward. Nadia, don't... A door down the hall opens. Footsteps, voices. My uncle's deep murmur, Aunt Farah's sharp tone, my sister's quick, furious pace. Armand hears it too. He stiffens. His face pales like someone pulled the plug on his blood. He wanted witnesses. He wanted my shame to have an audience, so I let his fear have one. Aunt Farah appears first, scarf pinned tight, eyes like knives. She takes one look at Armand's face and her mouth curls, not in pleasure, in disgust. My sister slides in beside her, eyes swollen but hard. My uncle follows, shoulders squared, the weight of his pride visible in the way he holds his chin. Armand's throat works again. He looks from face to face like he's trying to calculate an exit. Aunt Farah doesn't give him room. "What are you doing here?" she asks. Voice calm enough to be terrifying. No yelling, no drama, just the kind of calm that means the decision is already made. Armand forces a laugh that dies halfway. "Auntie, I'm just talking to Nadia. This is between us." Between us. He says it like a spell, but the spell doesn't work anymore. My uncle's voice is quiet. "You made it public." Armand's eyes flick to me, pleading for rescue. The old reflex in my body twitches. Save him, smooth it over, keep the peace. I crush the reflex before it reaches my mouth. I stand straighter. "He served me divorce papers in front of all of you," I say, and my voice doesn't shake. "He demanded my signature in public. Now he wants me to fix what's happening because he's scared." Armand's face twists. "Nadia!" Aunt Farah lifts her hand slightly, not to hit him, just to stop the air. "Begging isn't accountability," she says. The words land like a gavel. Armand's shoulders slump, and for a second I see it. The moment he realises the room is not his stage anymore, he tries again. Softer. "I made a mistake," my sister scoffs, a sharp sound. "You made a plan." I don't move. I don't blink. Because that's the truth. A mistake is a spill. A plan is a choice, repeated until it becomes a trap. Armand's eyes shine. He looks like he's going to cry harder. He takes a step toward my uncle, like he wants elder mercy. My uncle doesn't step back. He doesn't step forward either. He just holds his ground. Armand's voice breaks. "Please, just call and tell them." "Tell them what?" Aunt Farah asks. "That you used her name like a business tool, that you pushed her in front of her mother's photo and called it peace." Armand flinches at the mention of my mother. "Good. Let it sting." His mouth opens, closes. He looks at me again, desperate, trying to find the old Nadia, the tired Nadia who wanted quiet more than justice, the Nadia who would swallow herself to keep the table clean. But that Nadia is gone. I feel her absence like a healed scar, still there, still tender, but closed. "I won't call," I say, simple. "I won't lie to protect you." He shakes his head, panic rising. "You're going to ruin me." The sentence hits me, and something in my chest loosens. Not because I want him ruined, because I hear the truth hiding behind it. He expected me to be ruined quietly. Instead, I inhale slowly, feeling my lungs expand like they haven't done in years. "You did this," I say, "not me." Armand's face crumples. Real tears spill now. He wipes them angrily, embarrassed. He looks down the hallway like he wants to run, and then he does. Not sprinting, not dramatic, just a quick, hunched retreat, like a man trying to disappear before consequences can fully see him. The hallway goes quiet again. My sister exhales a shaky breath. My uncle's shoulders drop just slightly. Aunt Farah's eyes stay sharp, but when she looks at me, something soft flickers there for a heartbeat. "You okay?" my sister whispers. I open my mouth to say yes, but the truth is stranger. I'm not happy. Happiness would be too bright for this. I feel free, like air returning after years underwater, like my lungs are finally doing what they were meant to do, like my spine is mine again. 2 days ago I sat at a dinner table sacred to my mother and signed to avoid a scene. I thought silence was weakness. Now I look at that same table in my mind, candlelight, tea, my uncle's whisper, my sister frozen mid-bite, and I understand something so clearly it makes my eyes burn. My silence was never weakness. It was survival, and survival, when it finally stands up, looks a lot like justice. I sit at the edge of my bed after everyone leaves, listening to my child breathe. The apartment is still the same peeling corner of paint, same faint smell of tea in the curtains, but my body isn't. My shoulders aren't up around my ears. My jaw isn't locked even my hands. They look like mine again. I keep thinking about that dinner table, the light too bright, the candle flame shaking, the scrape of the folder on wood, the way he used my family like a cage made of eyes. If someone corners you in public, they're counting on your panic. Calm is power, not the quiet that swallows you, calm that buys you time, calm that lets you see the trap before you step deeper. And love, real love, doesn't require you to sign away your safety just to keep the peace. Peace that costs you your name, your money, your sleep, your child's stability. That's not peace, that's control, wearing a friendly face. I learned to keep copies, not because I'm paranoid, because my memory got tired of being argued with. I learned not to let one person hold every password, every account, every key. Help can be a gift, but control always asks for more. And if something feels rushed, if the pen is shoved into your hand, if the room is full of witnesses, if your throat is tight and your ears are ringing, pause, verify, breathe. That feeling in your gut is information. If you want more stories where betrayal gets answered with truth, subscribe. Comment the moment you knew he was bluffing. Was it the smirk, the sign tonight, the sudden sweetness, or the panic in his eyes when consequences knocked back? And share this with someone who's been made to feel small in public, someone who's been trained to stay quiet. He asked for mercy, but what he really wanted was control, and I stopped giving it away.